Hi, this is Finn Goddard of Core Expansion, and I'm so excited to have Rachel Harvey here, who is a wonderful friend. And Rachel is also an amazing intuitive conduit for healing energy. And Rachel, I would love to hear about your experience with Core Expansion. So tell me how after attending we've done some work together in webinars, how you felt the energy and how it's impacted on your life.
Well, normally I'd feel energy as heat or quite intense feeling of energy coming in. But what I noticed with the core expansion when we were doing that was the only way I can describe it is that it felt as if I was floating in warm water. It felt really comforting, very soothing, as opposed to something very, I won't say heavy, because the energies are all different anyway. You know, with Reiki, it can be quite a gentle energy as well. But it was a feeling of like warmth, like being wrapped in something. But my feeling was, you know, like I was floating in this warm water. That was how I experienced it. Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you. Because for me, as the conduit of the energy, it's always really lovely to hear how people experience it and that lovely floaty, warm feeling. That's really awesome. And I've known Rachel for how long? I've known you for more than a year. Nearly 2 years. It feels like we've known each other forever. Rachel is such an amazing spirit, and she does such amazing work. And we have been witnessing our own evolvement, and through our journey, through our quest and our mission on this healing. I suppose I call it it's almost like an extravaganza, really. It's not a journey. It's something that's really beyond magnificent and wonderful. So how has Core Expansion impacted on your life? Can you share with us a little bit about your experience of the energy after experiencing it in person?
Well, I think, you know, when you're always working to expand your consciousness anyway, you know, you're always working with different things. But what I have noticed, and I suppose, yeah, like I was saying to you, you know, because I know there are certain things coming up for me, and I've been working on, you know, peeling the layers off, if you like, and looking at the things that have blocked me, the things that are been holding me back, and one thing and another. But what I noticed was, and I have been saying this to people, is that it feels almost as though it's those, instead of the layers of the thing, it's like it's the core. It is, and I've been saying that to people, it's like it is the core of the not, I won't say wound, but you know, the core of the issue that has been showing itself. And some of the time I've been able to work through that on my own, because I've been able to witness it come in and be aware of it. And other times another modality may come in that helps me to look at something in another way. But it is almost as though those core things are allowed to surface now, because I'm in a place where I can look at them. They're the things, you know, the deep things that are been hurting the most, if that's the right way to say. You know, I'm not, that hurt is perhaps not the right way, but the thing that's blocked or, you know, tripped me up or what have you. But it does feel as though I'm able to look at the thing that was the hardest to look at before, and it's sort of as if they're like unlocked from, you know, I feel so much stronger and more present with myself, and I feel almost like so much clarity has been coming in, so much clarity of where am I still being triggered by that, you know, but where can I also look at that was, you know, something that was too hard to look at before, whereas now I can look at it and observe it leaving, if that makes sense, you know. So
wow.
it feels almost like it's the hardest things that I've had to look at that have been coming up, you know, the final dregs out of the barrel, hopefully.
Oh, wow, that's incredible. Thank you for sharing that. And it's really interesting. So how has your experience of it, the core issue moving out of your life, how has that experience been? Has it been gentle? Has it been awakening? I mean, how would you describe that?
Probably a mixture of things, you know. Obviously, you know, releasing can be tears or feeling anger or frustration, but I think a lot of it has been just witnessing. It's been noticing as well what's presenting in my physical life. You know, what is it that I'm just noticing the, sorry.
That's okay. It's
See the
beautiful.
sun moved around. I'm noticing in my physical life things that are presenting for me to see and know that I can make a choice in a different way. That I don't have to keep following the patterns that I was following. And it's almost like a calmness. It's almost like an inner strength. It's almost as though, or not almost, it is like a calmness. It's like an acceptance of who I am more as well, and aligning more with who I am inside, and that I don't have to be like this person, or I don't have to go and do this, or I can be present in the moment, and now bring my attention and my focus on what is it that I'm bringing to the world more. That's how it's feeling to me.
Oh, that's so beautiful. And I love how you describe that and how you are actually coming into your own divinity and aligning with your own truth. And that's one of what I was guided to share with everyone, what core expansion does. But I love how it goes deep into the core of the issue, and rather than going through all the layers, but it actually goes wing, let's go in and bring it up, okay, and say thank you very much and allow it to leave. And I love how you describe that. So in your world, how and in your life, how do you feel that the core expansion so far? I mean, you have I think you've done one webinar or two. You've done two webinars. Forgive me, two.
Yeah.
How do you feel that it has enhanced your life in other ways? Is there anything else that you feel it has kind of inspired you into connecting with, or rising and shining is what I like to say.
Well, it was interesting actually, because after the first one, I was having some problems with my arm. I was having a lot of pain in my arm, and it was, you know, I'd had treatment and it wasn't going. And I was thinking, oh, what's this telling me what's going on? So I decided to go somewhere else for treatment. I decided to go and try some acupuncture. And I think because it was just, and it was so different to what I've been going to have done. It was a whole other, you know, leave what you were doing before and go and do this. But it felt right to do it. And when I got there, this person who's done the treatment for me is very much into Chinese medicines of different kinds, Chinese massage, all these things. And he said to me, the problem is in the core.
I love it.
And it did make me laugh, because he obviously wasn't aware of what it is I've been doing, because he didn't know me from anybody. I just this new person that's come there. And he said, oh, it's to do with the psoas muscle. He said it's to do there with the core. and he said the core's out of alignment, and explained everything to me. It made perfect sense of where that's come from, all these things. But it made me visualize without not necessarily even my physical body, but it made me visualize this deep, deep, deep core of myself, everything about me, and not just this me. And looking at all the issues going back through my ancestry, my DNA, all those things, those core things, the structure that you come in with, that's come into each cell of your body when you're conceived, the DNA from your mother and your father, and all the stuff they've brought with them. And it made me look at that as a whole thing, as in this is what I came here to figure out. I'm not going to even say heal. I don't believe it as in I've got to heal it. It's about figuring it out and accepting it, and we've all got our own version of what we are doing, I suppose, in this journey. But I realized that the thing, because I don't feel like me anymore, if that makes sense. It feels almost like I've aligned so much more with a greater part of me, because I've now looked deep within me. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Oh, that's so beautiful.
But it's like there's
Wow.
a balance where there wasn't a balance. And I feel like even in my physical body, I feel more in balance. And I feel like the physical body now, from all the years of doing energy work and channeling that energy through my physical body, and not giving my physical body that respect and respect, but being at war with it for years and years and years. And now it's almost like everything's coming together. The physical aspect of me, the soul aspect of me, all aspects of me are aligning. But it feels like he said, your core is out of balance. So it just made perfect sense that on a physical level, I've worked on my core and doing the core expansions with you, working on looking at those deep core issues that were too difficult to look at a long time ago. So you'd look at a little bit of it and then work through that, and that would move on. And and each time calling something in that helps assist with that, so it isn't necessarily a case of like when I first did Reiki, I always used to say to people, and you might notice somebody will say something that will trigger something that helps to heal, or you might be drawn to go and get a massage, or drawn to see this. But so I've always understood that these things spread out, if that makes sense. It isn't just a case of, right, you have that. It's a whole, because there's so many layers of us, there's a whole expansion that goes along with it. That makes sense.
Yes, it does. And it's really beautiful because there are a lot of times when something that's so deep and embedded and a real core part of us, the energetic and the physical work, they complement each other.
Yeah.
And they bring in greater harmony. And harmony is, and I love that about core expansion, because it does bring in so much greater harmony and a really lovely sense. You were talking about feeling calmer, that wonderful sense of calm and peace, that you feel. And whenever there is a situation or something happening, it's almost like it's like sailing on a smooth surface of water through it, and having a bigger perspective and seeing the bigger picture, so you can create solutions and act in really inspiring and beautiful ways. And I too have found that for me, because it's a very new healing modality, I kind of went, yes, okay, I'll share this with the world. I think it was May, it was Beltane, that I went, okay, fine, I will do this. But I found that my whole life has completely changed my perspective, and the shift around about perception. My perception is completely different to how it used to be. And And I love that, how you describe that, your experience. And so tell us a little bit about you and your wonderful healing work, because Rachel is an amazing healer, and I'd love you to share your, what you do and how people can get in touch with you. That would be really awesome.
Okay, well, it's difficult to say sometimes what it is I do. I mean, I've been trained obviously in Reiki, and I've been doing that for many years. And not necessarily just having clients and working with them. There's a lot more going on the planet that I know I'm working with, and I've worked with the diamond light, which has been absolutely amazing. And I work with sacred activations as well, and that's, all those modalities, they're all part and parcel of what I do. But I also hold a group, and I find that what I'm quite good at doing is intuiting into things. So if I'm having conversations with people, it's almost as if I don't know that I'm going to do it necessarily, but I can see a different perspective on what it is that their issues are, and give them a different way to perhaps expand their awareness, and it is very intuitive. It's very sometimes very unexpected, and I find that people sort of appear in front of me just very randomly, and and I'm able to assist them, and I love doing that. I absolutely love doing that. That is what brings me joy. If anyone wants to say, well, what brings you joy, helping people to expand into a greater version of themselves is my joy, absolutely. And I couldn't have said that a few years ago, because that would have sounded too much, I suppose, ego based, isn't it? That's sort of, or you're a bit up yourself because you said that, but that's how I feel. I feel now like there's something I can bring that's me, and all of the modalities that I do all complement one another, because a lot they work with sacred geometry as well, which I'm just totally drawn to that, and it's hard to explain in what way, but yeah, it's just, I'm finally bringing me, and that's what I think is the most important thing. And so I could say I do this or I do that or do the other, but they, and light language as well is a new thing that's suddenly come to me, which I am absolutely loving, and I know that that's something I'm going to be bringing soon, and I'm not sure in what way yet, but very much when I'm with in nature, that comes through. So I think that it's going to be based very much about healing the earth, and but bringing more awareness as well, I think, to the planet and what's going on, and how connected we are to the planet. That's my feeling. That's how I'm very drawn to that.
That's so beautiful, and that's works so beautifully with you, because you are, for me, for those of you who don't know Rachel, for me, Rachel embodies Gaia. She's such a wonderful, incredible spirit. And so if someone were to want to book a session with you or get in touch with you, how would they do that, Rachel?
Go on my Facebook page. It's Sacred Diamond. Not really sure how else.
Okay.
I mean, you could.
That's perfect.
That's probably the best way at the moment.
Well, what I can do is attach to this video, I'll put the link to Rachel's Facebook page, so people can pop along and say hello and
no
connect
web
with you.
Yet. That's maybe to come in the future.
That's okay. You don't need a website. But oh, Rachel, thank you. Oh, and I'm so excited for you. It's I can feel the joy and the excitement in your energy as you're talking about your work, and you bring forward all these wonderful healing modalities and the light language. I'm so thrilled. I so love this. And it's such an exciting time for you, truly rising and shining.
And for you as well.
Oh,
I'm
thank
so
you.
happy for you. So happy. Yeah.
Oh, thank
and
you,
I think
Rachel.
that's part of this, you know, where we're at is about trusting to bring who we are and what we've got inside of us, because, you know, for a long time we compare, and it's that's what I bring isn't good enough, or I'm not like that person who seems to be completely amazing, and we don't actually see ourselves, you know. So that's another thing with the core, isn't it? Is when you see the core of who you are, then you can become that who, you know, like I keep hearing at the moment, you know, be who you came here to be. And we're each one of us being our own unique reflection of the light that's within us. That's to me, you know, and the core of us is where our light is, if you like, you know. So
absolutely. I love that. I love how you describe that, because we are, and we're all unique beams of light, and we have so much light within us. And we were talking previously about the expansiveness of energy and how our energy expands out. And the more we embody our own light and our own energy, the more we can completely transform our planet.
exactly.
You know, people around us, because we're all, at the end of the day, we are all one, and we're all beacons of light. But, you know, they talk about many hands make light work. So when you bring many people together with the same intention to create and to share, I mean, there's enough on our planet for everyone. And, you know, we're really living in such an exciting time where everyone is coming into their own light and coming into their own beingness and reconnecting with all of who they are. So thank you so much. I can hear you're wonderful. You're there like, I'm ready to go for a walk.
Door, that's why. I need to go to my door really quickly.
Okay, well, listen, Rachel, thank you so much for joining us all today.
You're welcome.
Lots of love to you, and thank you. This is Finn Goddard from Core Expansion. Much love to you all. Thank you.